Hi, as you can see, I'm wearing a bra.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story, and I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Okay, I'm wearing a thing called a clavicle brace. Why? Because I'm the village idiot. So I thought I'll put the ladder, stand it up and lean it against the wall, step ladder, in the bath. But then I get in there and there's a towel rail on the wall as well, so what I have to do is kind of go at an angle. So the ladder's at an angle instead of like that against the wall, it's kind of like that. Now, I've got enough experience to know this is stupid. So what do? Get the ladder anyway. Reach for the light fitting, next thing I know, there's an almighty crash, and I'm that crash. And sadly on the way down, I pulled down a towel rail, I pulled down the shower curtain rail, I landed on a laundry basket which I crushed, and then on the way after hitting the laundry basket, I then fell directly onto my shoulder. That left me lying on the floor in all sorts of pain, thinking, what a twat I am. I know better than to do something that stupid, and yet I still did it.
My wife wants to take me to hospital, and I don't like hospitals. So I'm like, no, I'll be fine. And then after about another 30 minutes, I'm like, oh, I think I need to go to hospital. Has to help me undress, I have a shower sort of, and then she takes me to hospital. Emergency thing where, so I sit like a plum and watch all these people come in front of me and get served while I'm still sitting there while she's parking the car. She comes back and I'm like, no one spoke to me yet. She's like, yeah, you've got to get in there and talk to them. People won't wait for you. You've got to go and do it. So she goes up and starts talking to them. So she goes through the whole process of signing me in, and then I'm taken in to be looked at. They sit me on the bed and they disappear, and I'm in absolute fucking agony, I'll be honest. I didn't know pain could be so exciting. It was horrible. I mean, I'm hurting now, but what I had then was like, I was effectively like trying to sit up, stand up, lie down, nothing was comfortable. They put a needle in my arm and then gave me some high-powered excitement through it, I think, but I'll be honest, it didn't really have an effect. I didn't really feel the pain ebbing away as much as I was hoping it would. Then they take me through to be x-rayed, and then I'm sitting on the bed and they're asking me, oh, do you want to stay here? You know, if you want to stay overnight, do you want a single bed or a double bed? I'm like, what the fuck? I don't want to stay overnight. I think my clavicle bone is broken. They say, we'd like to keep you in overnight to assess you. And I say, I'm going home. I'll come back tomorrow morning. So I come back the following day and they make me go to Indian doctor, absolute lovely guy. He's like, well, you got two options. Option number one is we give you what we call a clavicle brace, and you'll be in pain for about a month or so, a month to 6 weeks. And option number two is that we operate. I decide the clavicle braces for me. That was 2 weeks ago. At the end of that week, well, I couldn't ride my motorbike or do anything, literally. I was just sitting at home. I could not even really operate the shift bar, my keyboard with his arm. I could do nothing with it. Although every single day, a little bit more. So I'm wearing this bra. Anyway, following week, we were due to go to Brunei, see our son. At the same time, our daughter was in Kuala Lumpur. She's due to come back into Malaysia. Well, day before due to leave Brunei, get a message. She's been stopped at immigration in Malaysia, and they want to deport her back to England. Now, she'd been given a letter from the school explaining that they were applying for an educational visa for my granddaughter, and that my daughter then would get a dependence visa, or guardian's visa, sorry. But they weren't happy with that, and that was their threat, was to deport her She obviously burst into tears, and the guy eventually went and said, okay, we'll go back to Thailand then. So we tell her to get a coach to Bangkok if she can. Then I have to organise her a hotel in Bangkok near the airport, and then a flight to join us the following day in Brunei. So we fly to Brunei. We actually fly to Sarawak, which is part of the island of Borneo, part of Malaysia. Sarawak, a place called Miri. Then our son picks us up in his car and takes us across to Brunei, where we check into a town called Kuala Belait. Nice little tiny small quiet place, and into a hotel called Sea View Hotel, which isn't a grand place or anything, but it was right on the beach, had a nice swimming pool, and the beach was lovely. Next day we have to borrow his car, drive up to Seri Bagram, I don't know, whatever the name of capital of Brunei is, to the airport and meet our daughter who's coming in there, and then bring her and my granddaughter down to stay in the hotel. They spend a week with us, so we spent a lovely week in Brunei, and I really liked Brunei. Don't believe what you read in the media, I'm sure some of it's true. It's a nice place, very chill. And then it's time to come back, which means we're all across the border together, which means we're all kind of bricking it. At various times in the last couple of years, we've all been questioned at the border, what we're doing here, you know. I understand it's the rules, you know, but now we're just basically here on a 90-day social visa, and we've been doing that for a while, and they're within their rights to say, what the hell are you doing? However, you know, fact is, I bring money into Malaysia every couple of months. Just paid our bill, so it is an example. So we just paid my electric bill, that's just under 1,000 ringgit, which is just 200 quid. We pay our rent every month, we pay internet, you know, all of this money I transfer in from England. So all we're doing here is bringing our own money, spending our own money. I make videos about the country, the area I live in, basically giving free publicity to everything. And yet all we get at the border is hassle. So we've been given notice that the people we're renting the house from want the house back in 2 months' time. So effectively the clock is ticking. It's already now less than 2 months. I have less than 2 months to make a decision. You know, that's not an ideal life for anybody, to not know if you're allowed back in the country you've been living in for 11 years. And, you know, I know rules are rules, and that's the situation. So, you know, the country is free to make its choice. My granddaughter goes to school here, we pay those fees, but we're not the kind of people, seemingly, that they want in Malaysia. So here's the options. We've got basically 2 months to make a decision. Decision number one is, if we can get any form of visa that will keep us here, we want to stay in Malaysia. Option number two, I really like Brunei. If it's possible to get us a visa and open up a small art tutorial business in Brunei. Option number four was Thailand, but my wife's not very keen on Thailand. You know, I'm happy wherever my wife is, so, you know, whatever. And then the most out there option is Mexico. It's one that we all like the idea of. However, obviously moving everything you own to the other side of the world has big costs to it, first of all. Secondly, it means we've got to lose all the stuff we've got here right now. Cars, bikes, bloody all that sort of stuff. I want to leave my bikes behind. You never get the money back, do you? And the biggest point on that is, if we're in Mexico, one of our sons is in Brunei, the other's in England. His girlfriend's in Korea, so chances are his holidays are going to be spent in Asia rather than in South America. My oldest son the same, his girlfriend's in the Philippines, so his holidays are going to be spent around the area where he lives, Brunei, Asia. So, much as Mexico is a good one because you can get a 5-year visa for a relatively small fee, 11 years ago we left everything behind in the UK and moved halfway around the world and that didn't turn out so bad, did it? Which is absolutely true. I really genuinely believe everybody should move from the country they live in to a country that's completely different, or seems on the surface to be completely different to the one they were born in, because I think it's really good for you mentally and really sort of makes you have to work at life. Youngest son went to school in Malaysia from the age of 12, then became like a Malaysian MMA, not the world MMA stage, but in Malaysia, Asian MMA fighter when he was young. And my eldest son became a scuba diver instructor, worked in Singapore for 5 years before deciding he really wanted to follow his dream and go back to the UK and join the army, which is what he did, which is perfect. So, you know, everybody's had an opportunity. You know, shit doesn't always work out the way you'd hope it does, but life changes. Things are what they are. You don't know what's around the next corner. So this chapter's looking shaky. We don't know what's going to happen next. We're also fairly confident that whatever decisions we make will be ultimately okay. Look at that, there's Sky, baby. Alright, Silver Fox is out.
Somebody please explain to me what the hell that's all about.
Just that idiot licking his nuts again.